Hey, it's Todd Duncan. Welcome to my fan page, and thank you for viewing this video blog. And I am in the midst of a 6-week series. I want to talk every Monday about one idea that can help improve dramatically the amount of business and therefore then the success that you enjoy on a regular basis. I began thinking about this series of 6 things really a couple years ago, but I've decided to make them available through my fan page only because I really want to pour into all of my friends and colleagues and people that are out in the business world today that have made business too complex, that have really made it harder than it needs to be. And my observation is that a lot of people are working really hard and not getting the results they want. A lot of people are burned out and they're starting to blow up. A lot of people are having a good month and therefore then maybe a good year, but they're still working 12 or 14 hours a day. And there is an answer for this. There is a different way to approach success. I want to begin with the first idea, and the first idea that I want you to think on this week and really work around this week is the idea of knowledge, the idea of the importance of education, the idea of a commitment to gaining knowledge, the idea of understanding that it is one of the greatest truths that has ever been displayed in any human endeavor, and that is that knowledge itself with action behind it is power. I have a book that I love. This book is called The Royal Path of Life. On my Facebook personal page last week, we were having a dialogue about reading things of history, old things that had promising truth to it. And one guy read a book from 1954, and another guy read a book from 1927, and then I posted that this book is from 1885, and then some guy said I read the Bible 1 AD. And, so I guess one of the truths there is that there is a richness throughout history of the importance of gaining knowledge. And this book it's huge. I mean, you can see how thick this book is, and this book that I'm holding is 130 years old. And I want to read to you under education just what the authors say. Listen to this. Manufacturers find intelligent, educated mechanics more profitable to employ, even at higher wages, than those who are uneducated. We have never met anyone who had much experience employing large numbers of men who did not hold this opinion, and, as a general rule, those manufacturers are most successful who are most careful to secure intelligent and skillful workmen. It requires extensive observation to enable one even partially to appreciate the wonderful extent to which all the faculties are developed by mental cultivation. The nervous system grows more vigorous and active, the touch is more sensitive, and there is greater mobility in the hand. But the excess in the amount of work performed by an intelligent worker and an educated worker is not the most important respect in which an intelligent worker is superior to a stupid one. He is far more likely to be faithful to the interests of his employers, to save from waste, and to turn to profit everything that comes to his hand. There is also the exalted satisfaction of being surrounded by thinking, active, and inquiring minds instead of being surrounded by ignorance. Such are some of the advantages to the captains of industry which result from the employment of intelligent workmen. Not in one article nor a number of articles could these advantages be fully set forth. And it is impossible to state the advantages to the employer. How vain must be the effort to describe those which result to the workman himself. The increase of wages is the least and lowest of the rich rewards of a mental culture. The whole being is enlarged and exalted. The scope of view is widened. The objects of interest are increased. The subjects of thought are multiplied. Life is more filled with emotion and joy, and the man is raised in the scale of creation. This is a powerful book, and when I talk about the importance of your thoughts and the importance of getting your arms around this idea of committing to knowledge, it's the most important decision that you will ever make. Everything that happens in business and in life is predicated on the acquisition of knowledge. Thomas Dreyer once quipped that the life that you live, the life that a man lives, is the life within his own limits of thinking. And so part of what our job is as we work together on our fan page, and part of what my job is as I work with industry, is to help you expand your thinking. And I go back to a classic, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and I've read this book probably 20 times. It's a fantastic book, and there's one section here at the very front end that I wanted to share with you too, and have you get a sense of this. He said the answer called for a description of 13 principles, but remember as you read, the answer you may be seeking to the questions which have caused you to ponder over the strangeness of life and business may be found in your own mind through some idea, plan, or purpose which may spring into your mind as you read and study and get educated. One sound idea is that all one needs to achieve success. The principles described in this book contain ways and means of creating useful ideas. Before we go any further in our approach to the description of these principles, we believe you are entitled to receive this important suggestion. When riches begin to come, they come so quickly in such great abundance that one wonders where they have been hiding during all of these years. This is an astounding statement, and all the more so when we take into consideration the popular belief that riches come only to those who work hard and long. When you begin to think and grow rich, you observe that riches begin with a state of mind, with a definitiveness of purpose, with little or no hard work. You and every other person ought to be interested in knowing how to acquire that state of mind which attracts riches rather than working for riches themselves. I spent 25 years in research because I too wanted to know how wealthy men became that way. Observe very closely. As soon as you master the principles of this philosophy and begin to follow the instructions for applying these principles, your financial status will begin to improve, and everything you touch will begin to transmute itself into an asset for your benefit. Impossible? Not at all. Think and grow rich. It's very powerful when you just consider the idea here that everything starts in the mind, and every idea that will ever be an idea worth pursuing and one that may at some point come to fruition is an idea that begins in the mind. And so my instruction to you this week is to do some inventory about really where you need to think in order to grow rich. Where do you have challenges? Where do you have observations? I got an email in my Facebook page a couple weeks ago from a guy that had some challenges with how to deal with buyers who want lower prices, lower interest rates if they're buying a home and borrowing money on a home loan. The whole price game of trying to get nickeled and dimed by potential buyers in whatever industry you're in. But in the space in which advice can trump price, you need to gain the knowledge before you can ever be in an advisory role. And this is a very, very important pursuit. He who pursues knowledge is he who elevates himself among the ignorant men. And so I want you just to commit to this for a week. I want you to find out where you have some gaps. I want you to, if nothing else, pick up a book and start reading. If you've read this book, read it again. If you've not read this book, read it for the first time and start to populate your mind with the knowledge of a winner, the knowledge of somebody who's super successful and super relevant in their life, that's achieved greatness in their life because they have used the principles of knowledge and translated those principles into action, which then produce very, very efficient commerce. And so, as we work through 6 weeks, it's not going to be about working real hard. I mean, you have to work hard, but as Napoleon Hill states, it is here that makes the labor of the hands more efficient. Okay? So this is the first of 6 things that we'll talk about. Gain knowledge. The acquisition of knowledge, one of the most, if not the most critical decisions you'll ever make on your way to success, which happens right here at my fan page every single day. Take care and tell your friends about this. Have them sign on and give us a like, and we will continue to invest in you as you invest in yourself. Okay? Take care. Have a great week.